1985. What a year to be alive. 1985 was a great year because I was born in 1985, but our guest here today, he won his second state wrestling championship in 1985. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Jarrad Rudd from Union County, Kentucky, and I wrestled at the Union County High School from my freshman year to my senior year.
And of course, you're 1984 132-pound state champion, 1985 138-pound state champion. And for those watching that knows anything about wrestling, Union County, they're the hottest thing going right now in wrestling, man. So I've asked just about everybody this question, whether they're we done Tanya Bacon's. She's the latest state champion from Union County. She was the first girl state champion wrestler. We've interviewed guys. I think as of this filming, you and Danny, your buddy Danny, are the two longest removed Union County state champions that we've met with. So I have to ask the question, man. What's going on out there in Morganfield? What's going on in Sturgis? Talk to us, man. How does wrestling become so popular out there?
Well, I started in the second grade, and I was friends with the Irvins and around the Irvins. We all lived in Boxville, and that's how that I got introduced to it, at an early age. And at the time I went into wrestling in the second grade, I was the youngest of that first group of recruits, that Loder Thomas, initiated that and we did it AAU and got rather big and intense, and a lot of kids was involved. A lot of them that were really good that never went on to, for people like you to see their names, but there was quite a bit of depth. I was on a team early on that 25 kids, went to regionals Olympics in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Wow.
And I got a newspaper clipping somewhere what the stats are and everything, but I was the youngest. And actually, there was a lot of guys on there that Robert was on that team. Maurice Brown was on that team. Jambo Smith, my brother. And, there was some Sheffer boys in there. And, of course, Eddie Sheffer was on the team with Tim Irvin, So there was a lot of connection from guys that was at the top, helping either cousins or friends or neighbors at the bottom to get in there. And it was that's how the feeder program got started. And once it got started and we got on up older, it made us real strong,
Oh, yeah. I guarantee it.
It got kind of rough to keep up that kind of lifestyle doing the young kids for so many years. But, Loder finally got, I guess, tired and had other things going. His daughter in high school and him trying to get her, doing her track thing. And he probably just got a little more tired and had other obligations too, So, the feeder program suffered a little bit. And then Robert Irvin, implemented again after he got out of school. And he knew what to do because he was involved in it. So, and man, boy, what a program they have now,
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they've dropped off too much. Now, let's talk about Union County's history because as of this filming, this is July 7th, 2024. Union County has 15 team state championships. That's first place in the state overall. The earliest being 1976. I believe Tim Irvin was on that team. The other names kind of slipped me. I know Tim won it, and he won his individual championship in 77. But 1976, 1980, 1982, which I believe you were a part of, correct?
Correct.
Then they skip a few years, 2007, 2008, 2011, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2024. and they have 78 individual state champions, 77 boys. And of course, Tanya, right as of this filming, is their only girl, but I can only imagine that number is going to grow. So just the best program right now in the state. Union County, I mean, for a lot of people, I think the most, maybe not, I don't want to say the most famous, but I would say probably the most known athlete to come out of Union County High School was Dwayne Casey for a long time. Member of that 1978 Kentucky team, played in the NBA. Currently, I believe he's still coaching in the NBA. But now that wrestling has been the king out there in Union County, and it's kind of spread across the state, and everybody knows Union County's the name. You know, your Brock Irvins, your Bryce Schaefer's, the Rainey twins. I mean, we could go on. Stephen Little, just All-American this past year at Little Rock. I mean, we go on and on with the names. But when you think of, I'm on the complete opposite end of the state, and yes, I know I'm a little bit more connected than the average bear, but every time you see something in a newspaper clipping, something about statewide wrestling, or a Facebook post, or the news, it's always something to do with Union County. It's always Union County wrestlers compete in worlds. The Rainey twins win world championships. Add another state championship for Union County. So the Braves, man, they've got it going on out there. That's about all we can say about it. They know they're wrestling out there. Now let's go over your state tournament runs here. 1983, 112 pounds. Of course, you make it to the state tournament as a sophomore, but as you know as well as anybody in wrestling, we either win or we learn. So that was a learning year. But you come back the next year in 1984 as a junior, 132 pounds. You start off, you beat Charles Hicks from Manual out of Louisville. Then you go on to the quarters. You beat Tom Kirby out of Louisville Doss. You get to the semis. You're wrestling friend of the channel, Kevin Griffith from Campbell County. Then you get to the finals, and you beat Pat Joles from Boyle County 5-3. So your first state championship, man, you win 5-3. It had to be a good feeling, correct?
It was.
All those years in the mat room, all those years, like you said, second grade, man, that's a big investment. When you start that early in life in something, it feels good to pay it off, right?
It sure does.
And, of course, 1985, though, is this video. And if you're watching this, and you have the 1985 state finals video, please reach out and contact me. We have several people from 1984 that we need to get up with. Your Troy Coles, your Matt Shotwells, a couple other people have reached out. Josh Ashbrook, his father passed away. He was in the finals. We need to get with him and do his memorial from Harrison County. But 1985, though, man, is your year. You're a senior. You start off the state tournament with a 16-4 decision over Byron Klein of Johnson Central. You get to the quarters. You're wrestling Robert Wagner from Wagner. I found that kind of funny when I saw the name of his last name and the name of the school was the same. Robert Wagner, you win that by it says 15-0. Do you remember, was that a tech fall or was it just the end of the match?
I don't remember about that match.
Okay, that's fine. We've kind of talking to people and with the state finals videos that we have, we've kind of narrowed it down that somewhere between about 85 to 87, 88 is when the tech fall was introduced to the sport. So we're trying to say for certain. That's one of the things about this series is so much history we've been able to pull out. You're in the semis. You're wrestling Greg Guilford from Louisville Eastern. You win that by a 16-7 decision. And the bracket that I got off the KHSA website has you coming in to the finals with a 30-1 record. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Only loss I had was to Ernie Herring.
And I'm glad that you said that because you're in the finals and you're wrestling a Western Kentucky foe, if you will, Ernie Herring from Hopkinsville. And, of course, Hopkinsville we've met with so many guys from out there. We don't even want to start naming people, but Union County, they had their first run, 76, 80, 82. And then Hopkinsville won the 85, 86 back-to-back team state championships. And then Christian County won the 88 team state championship. So Western Kentucky, man, for about 12 years or so, that was some of the best wrestling in the entire state out there. 3 schools, Union County, Hopkinsville, and Christian County. There was some wrestling going on out there. But like I said, you're wrestling Ernie. I would have to imagine you guys wrestled each other probably 100 times, correct?
Well, I don't know if it was 100, but it feels like it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Of course, Ernie has passed away, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But you win that semifinals match. You go into the finals knowing that you're wrestling somebody that you've wrestled a bunch, you've seen a bunch. He has a win over you this season. What's going through your head, man? Talk to us. What was the game plan?
Well, the game plan going in was not to give up anything and be real conservative. And knowing that I've wrestled Ernie so many times, and and he always scores a few points. I don't never dominate it to where it's, I can't just let my guard down. Mm-hmm. He's too good wrestler for that, so you're just trying to use your wits and go about your business. And, that kind of is not one of my best matches. I kind of somewhere in the match there, I realized it dawned on me that it's the last high school match I'm wrestling, and the head things start messing with you just a little bit. And you make a few mistakes, but it don't take long. When you get something done to you, you got to forget about everything and go to business, And anyway, I remember the match about the way it went. It wasn't my favorite match, but I come out with a win. And I'm looking at it now, watching it. It was, I remembered some of the stuff, but then it was kind of enlightening me on how hard it was to actually wrestle Ernie, because he started to learn my style of wrestling, and then he must have studied it pretty hard as far as to counter what I do. And you'll notice in one move that where I try to do the back cradle where my legs in, and I sweep around to the side, and I'm gonna do a set down cradle. And I've done that to him before, and he knew that was coming, and he let go. And I was kind of impressed,
Yeah.
Wasn't too impressed with my wrestling because the way he was wrestling, but I thought he did a pretty good job, but I was glad he didn't do too good.
Yeah. And of course, in 1985, man, I'm still doing my research on this. I've been able to dig up a lot of like little trivia questions and all that I put on my social media just to keep people's interest going. But in 1985, Union County, you guys had 3 back-to-back in consecutive weight classes, state champions. 126, Brad Hagedorn, and then our buddy Danny Lavelle at 132, and of course you at 138. So having 2 state champion practice partners that you see every day and practice against, that had to be a good thing to have in the room, because sometimes you're only going to be as good as your practice partner, right?
Right.
And of course, Danny's our buddy. We met Danny at a Kid Rock concert this year in Ashland. He, we got a couple photos together, said hi, and Danny's helped me out a lot, getting guys in Union County lined up. And whenever I messaged him and said, "Hey, I think we've got one of your old teammates lined up," and he was like, "Oh my God!" So Danny, man, we know you're going to be watching this, and coming in though, seeing 2 of your teammates win and knowing you're the last one, you got, man, I can't let these 2 guys win, and I'll never hear the end of it, right?
Yeah. Well, there's always them butterflies,
Yeah.
But to see 2 of you classmates, teammates, just win like that, it's it puts you on a high, really,
Yeah.
as soon as you get out there on the mat, you know, it's a whole different thing. But then I started realizing that I guess I should have had that feeling before, you know, I got out there, but I never did. And it kind of got to me for a minute there that this was, hey man, this is my last time I'm ever going to be on a mat in high school, you know. And it kind of got kind of sad, but then you feel this weight coming on you that yeah, the pressure is here, you know. You got to win this, you know. You know, this is my last year. I've been undefeated except to him, and you talk about the pressure, you know. So Ernie definitely had the pressure on me. Plus, I had it on myself, you know. And you could probably see guys that know my wrestling when they watch that. They were asking like, "Well, probably what happened right there," you know. But there was some head games going on there, you know.
Yeah.
And of course,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It makes it kind of rough on a man, you know, when you're out there wrestling. But anyway, you got to kind of swallow it and go on, you know.
Yeah. And so many guys that we've done review videos with, I believe your review video number 320, if I've got my math right. So many guys that have whether they're out of school for a year or they're out of school for, you know, who knows how long, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. They're a senior, they're in the finals, and you'll hear just about everybody say something to the effect what you said. It didn't really hit me until I was in the match or I was on the medal podium. This is it. This is the last time I ever get to wear whatever school it is, Union County, whatever school it is. This is the last time I ever get to compete for my high school. This is it. And some people take it in strides. People say, like, you know, the nerves got to me. I didn't really process it until I was on the bus ride home, or we went to eat out with my parents, or got back home and was showering. I was like, I just wrestled my last high school match. So we are going to pull up the match video here. Danny, the crowd that you guys are getting ready to see and the celebration is coming from Danny just winning his 132-pound state championship, man. So here we go. Let me turn up the volume just a little bit. There they are. So, of course, here we are. I love those singlets, man. They need to go back. Union County needs to go back to those traditional style. Just I don't know what you guys call them, the final singlets or whatever, but I just love those looks. All right, so you guys had wrestled each other before. You kind of talked about a game plan. Did you know he was good at like throws or shots, or did you just want to stay to your game plan, or what was the deal?
Well, he was very strong wrestler. Probably the strongest wrestler I ever wrestled. You know, and he's really got good balance, and you know, he's when he moves so fast, it's kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah, and just for the record, you've got our buddy Gene Washington as the official out there. So you're in on a single, trying to pull him in. Right there, Gene. Come on, give us two. There we go. So right there, you throw a leg in. Trying to break that arm down. And the cheerleaders that you guys are hearing, that's Hopkinsville's mat maids. They probably had more mat maids than they did wrestlers back then. Did you guys have mat maids at Union County?
We did in earlier years, but in later years we didn't.
Yeah. Hopkinsville had mat maids up and through at least through the 90s, because in the 92 team photo, when they won the state championship, their mat maids are in the photo. So I don't know what year they stopped having them. But right there, you've got a bar on the back, trying to run something.
Yeah, and I'm trying to concentrate on getting him back in. Mm-hmm. And I got kind of frustrated there, and he caught me, you know, to see how fast he moved.
Yeah. So right there on the edge of the mat, had a reversal. You can tell with that duck under he hit on you. He's strong. You get up, you get your one. So now it's the end of the first period. All right, so we're a period in. We're throwing another leg in. I can tell you're going for that cradle right there, or a cradle, I should say, but he's not having any of it. We got a stalemate. Now, whenever I was cutting the match down and he hit that right there, I was like, oh, no, don't give it up.
Yeah, that wasn't something I was real happy with.
Yeah, well, it happens, it happens. There you go. You're trying to do a sit out there. And he's trying to run a cradle right there on you. You're doing a really good job defending that. Get to your feet. You get your 1 point escape. We're out of bounds, out of bounds, out of bounds. You look over at your corner there. I believe that's a young Tim Irvin, correct?
It is. That's my brother sitting there too. He's assistant coach.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, he was a 1984 state champion, correct?
Correct.
That's what I thought. We're out, we're neutral. And I believe in Ernie's corner, he's got Coach Placer. And I'm not sure if Tony Harris is in the corner or not. No, I don't think so. I have to ask Tony who the other gentleman is. I don't know who that is on the right. So we're in the second period here. Both of you guys have had great offense. You've had some good defense as well. Is it kind of like the old Mad Magazine thing where spy versus spy, where you guys are canceling each other out?
There's a whole lot of that. You get that with all good wrestlers, but it's also harder and more time to wrestle a guy, especially if you beat them.
Now, right there, you ran off the mat. Do you remember what that was for?
I just had to spit. I got a real bad cotton mouth where all them nerves and everything.
Yeah.
Actually, the side of my body went numb.
Uh-oh.
You see me shaking my arm here at some point or another. I don't think it's actually hit. So when I do a whizzer on him, you'll see that I get my arms bother me because it's numb.
Yeah.
My whole body on that side went numb.
Yeah, hey, I get it, man. So we're neutral. You're up 7-4. You've got a whizzer right there. You do an excellent job defending that. He hit a really nice foot sweep right there. Oh, come on, Gene. I would have given 2 right there, I believe, but now it's 3 because the rule changed. But we got an injury here. Do you remember that? What happened here?
I just think he was but I got the takedown on him, and he's kind of just slowing things down.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that that happened a lot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, in case you don't know, we're at Atherton Gym in Louisville. That's where the state tournament was held from 1974 through 1995. All right, so you're up 9-4 in the third period here, and you're on top. Do you remember hearing the crowd being loud and all that, or was you zoned in? Or
Really, I don't remember hearing anything.
I got you. It's amazing how when you're zoned in, your senses just kind of dissipate, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're up 5 points on Ernie. Did you ever think about just cutting him and letting him go and just trying to defend him? Because all it would take is just a wrong move or whatever. He gets a reversal, maybe catches you in a half or a cradle or something. Was it, or just let's just hold on to what we got here?
Well, it kind of looks like I'm just holding on to what I got right there, and looks like Ernie's just kind of holding out too. You know,
Yeah.
he don't seem like himself right there.
You trying for you got like going for a half or cradle, whichever one you can get. You go out of bounds. And I believe, yeah. Of course, like I said, Hopkinsville wins the team title. They had Eddie Persons that won most outstanding wrestler that year. Had some good dudes on that team. The Poindexter brothers, Gator, and that's it, man. You win by a final score of 9-4. Your second state championship. There you go, man. Jumping into your teammates right there. Everybody's carrying you off the mat. And this is the medal ceremony. Let's see. That was Jones from Dixie Heights, Great House from Henry Clay. He was the state champion in '83. Of course, Ernie comes in second place here, but in 1986 and 1987, Ernie state champion individual. So there you come, man.
Win 2 more state titles.
Yeah, Ernie won it in '86 and '87.
Wow.
Yep. And that's where this one is, man. So watching it back, it's been 39 years. You alluded to it a little bit earlier, but when you watched it the first time, did it play out differently than you remembered it, or how did it go for you?
Well, I remember it being about like it was. You know, it was kind of a dogfight, not very pretty, and and I remember I come out on top, and I remember actually having a little spell there during the match, and it didn't last too long, but it definitely lasted longer than I wanted it to. and my left side of my body went numb. I couldn't feel anything on that left side. And
Yeah.
anyway, in them mind games, you're kind of like you're swimming for a minute, you know, you kind of get lost in yourself. And then finally I shake it off, and go on. And
Yeah.
then you can't believe it's over when it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no, I understand, man. I understand. So you started off earlier, you said you started off in the second grade, wrestled all the way through school. Uh, the sport of wrestling in Kentucky's growing. We've had to add, well, and I say kudos to the KHSAA for adding the girls' state tournament. It was great. It was much needed. We're having to have our middle school and our youth state tournaments on separate days in arenas, not just high school gyms, but big arenas in the state. So if you would, in your time in the sport and since you've been out, what are a few things, some tips, some tricks, some pointers that you wish you would have known when you started or through your journey that you'd like to pass on so the next generation can have them?
Well, the first thing is you got to keep yourself straight, and have a little discipline. And, it never hurts to have help from older guys, and I had that. And in our school, that we have a depth of that now. So that's also what helps the program. And, staying in good shape. And if I look back and want to say that, there's something I could have done different, I definitely would have been in better shape because that would have made me a better wrestler, even though we were in pretty good shape anyway, but really being in shape the best you can be makes you a better wrestler anyhow, because you got more stamina. And a lot of times you don't win the matches till the last periods anyhow. And
Yeah.
if you run out of gas, you can't perform. But
Yeah,
never
that's a
let yourself
fact.
never let yourself down. Always improve on yourself. And there's always a day you can be beat. And you just kind of got to go day by day and be prepared
Yeah,
and go to.
no, hey, man, that's great. I love um, what we've been able to do here with the series of making it making everything so accessible and finally being able to put because Jarvis Elam sent me not just at Union County but all across the state. Some schools take it more serious than others. Your Unions, your Woodfords, your Johnson Centrals, your Simon Kentons, Campbell counties. We go. That's just off the top of my head. Christian County, I know, has a really nice trophy case. But for so long, man, wrestling has been hid. It's been hard to find. Whether you had to be in the gym sometimes or in the arena to see the finals, and there was nothing like this. And now people can finally go to that big, huge board with the 78 names on it of the Union County State champions and be like, oh, wow, I think I want to watch Jarrad Rudd's 1985 state championship match. I see his name. There it is. I want to watch Danny Lavelle's 1985. I want to watch Jarvis Elam's 2008. And the series has been able to do that. And the history, the information, the knowledge, the wisdom that people have that they've gained throughout their life, it's so relatable to people in the sport now. And we have really made the whole wrestling community in the state of Kentucky, I feel, closer together. We're bridging generational gaps. We're bridging geography gaps. And it's all just from hearing stories from yourself, starting in second grade. Outside of maybe your family and maybe some of the people you started wrestling in Union County with, I would say not too many people knew that you started wrestling in second grade back in the 70s. I didn't even think wrestling was, uh, elementary school age kids could even participate back then. And man, there you are, second grade on top of the podium twice. And now kids are starting. I think the youngest that we have our youth is 4 years and younger. So here in the next 5-10 years, man, we're going to have a lot of kids that say they started wrestling at 3 years old, wrestling at 4, competing that early. And you can say, and everybody else that can, watches this, man, did you know Jarrad started when he was in second grade? Can you believe that? You know what I mean? All these years later, it's cool to know, man. It really is. So,
Yeah,
Jarrad, man, we've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything you'd like to say or add or take away or anything like that before we wrap this one up?
well, I'd just like to say that, when I was in the second grade, we were doing the Junior Olympics. We went to Ypsilanti, Michigan, and wrestled in the Junior Olympics up there, which was uh, like it could have been a regional thing, a national thing, or something. But anyway, we qualified and went up there and wrestled, and I made it to the semifinals. And if I'd have won that match, I was going to have to wrestle a girl. I was the first one that I know of that was wrestling that was going to have to wrestle a girl. And she had a court order there. They was carried it with them, and she was tough. She had pigtails and was kicking butt.
Yeah.
And we had several kids, from Union County up there, but I couldn't. I had to throw the match before I got to her because I couldn't go back to Union County and maybe be the first guy to ever be beat by a girl, and no one ever forget it.
Yeah.
But I remember it. The girl's dad was a wrestling coach, and they had a lawyer with them and had a court order so she could wrestle. So she was probably the pioneer of girls being able to wrestle when you was talking about that.
Yeah.
But that was just interesting to tell.
No, that's a great story. I mean, that's what this review series is for, man. Is stories and history that people would have never known before or have never even heard of. So many stories like that have been brought out, and it's about every time I go to a meet or go to somebody's house or go to a school and do a session, a story like that always gets brought up. It's always, man, I can't believe so and so. I remember this 19, and he never mentioned that, or that's going to be great. I'm sure everybody will mention that and have. You don't remember the young lady's name by chance, do you?
No, I sure don't. But I will tell you, there was a news crew following her around, filming her. You talk about intimidation.
Yeah, I believe that. I think that all may have been smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? To scare everybody. The lawyer and the news team may have been just a distraction. You know what I mean? Intimidate everybody before they even got out there on the mat with her.
Well, if you're one of them kids that had to wrestle her, you'd have believed it because
No, I get it.
for a reason.
Hey, I get it, man. I get it. And like I said, Tanya Bacon, I believe 107 pounds for Union County. And from what I saw this past year, I got to officiate the girls' state tournament this year in Lexington there. It won't be too much longer. The Union County girls team, they're going to be as tough as the boys are. You know what I mean? They're going to be smashing everybody. So
I'm looking forward to seeing it next year. That's something definitely that I'm watching.
Yeah.
In this
Yeah,
new
absolutely,
age,
man.
you can see everything on your phone or from your house, and that's cool. Technology, I like that part of it.
Yeah, and like doing our review video here this evening. I mean, I'm in my house, you're in your house, and the world's smaller now, and we can share information so easily. And the review series is a direct relation of being able to reach out on these things. I believe your wife reached out to me on Facebook or one of the other day, and we've able to get this lined up. And so here we are. Instead of having to travel or drive or whatever, we can sit in our own home, talk about wrestling, and do the review video, man. But I believe we've reached a really good ending point here, Jarrad, man. Thank you for doing this. And again, if you have the 1984 state finals video, please reach out to me or Jarrad or anybody associated with us, and we'll be more than happy to get it, convert it for us so we can have it and be able to do your 1984 review video, man. But I believe that's all we got. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.